Hello and welcome back to the Hot Action Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Kerr, and we are going to be talking about UFL Week 8. And after that, we are going to be getting into some way too early NFL betting. That's right. You heard me right. They just released the schedule, and there are futures bets to be got into. I'm going to be looking at some over-unders, season over-unders for all the teams way too early. These are not my official, well-thought-out bets, but more like vibes-based and more like way too early. Not enough research, and I feel like there'll be some significant moves still before the year begins, considering, it's May currently. So, yeah. So, with no further ado, let's get into figuring out what we're doing here with regards to betting on the UFL. Okay, we're gonna do this week's UFL bets. NFL. Okay, here we go. Game lines. Wait, here we go. Sorry, that took altogether too long. Okay, so you can take the Memphis Showboats at +9 or the Michigan Panthers at home -9. The Panthers have been, absolutely dealing, and the Showboats might be the worst team in the dang league. Showboats lost to Arlington last week, and Arlington, that was their first win. And, the Panthers at home, they got this absolutely dead-eyed kicker. We'll be taking the Panthers -9 because not making much money at -450, and I do not believe in the Showboats. So that's what we're doing. We got 30 subs. 30 cents is the bet size. And now we got another great, massive line here. We got the Stallions and the Roughnecks. And the game seems to be at the odds makers. How high can you make the line before you bet on the other team? 16.5. We're going to have a good time here. We're going to take the -16.5 and just hope that works out. I don't know if it makes sense, but the Stallions are absolutely tuning fools out. And, I don't know. I feel like they are just the cream of the crop. They can't be stopped. Now, here's the first, kind of confusing line of the week to me. We got Defenders at Battlehawks. The Defenders are getting 7 on the road. And the Battlehawks, I guess both these teams lost their quarterback last week. So we'll be taking the Battlehawks because they're at home and they tend to be decently coached. And I would have issue with that line if not for both teams being down to QB. So, yeah, that's pretty important. So we will be taking the 30-cent bet on the Battlehawks here. -110, -7. Perfect. Now, call me a mark, but I will be taking the Brahmas. The Renegades got it together for one game, and I don't imagine this is them rounding into form. Last year, they started out cold and then got really hot and won the XFL championship. I don't think this is a repeat of that. I think my Brahmas are going to, send them back to the Shadow Realm. All right, so we've made all those bets. Now let's take a quick look at the, they got futures. Okay, main markets. No. Okay, UFL. Football. Futures. Championship. Now the Stallions are a -140 favorite. I don't like the Battlehawks now that AJ McCarron is MIA. I will put a unit on the Stallions, which is, pretty light work at this point at -140. That's paying out 51 cents. And just as a little hedge, I will, throw the Brahmas in the mix. 3-0. And that could pay out 330. So yeah, I think we're pretty stacked up on this Stallions team. We have a unit or two on the Battlehawks, but I am not feeling them. Sadly, I feel like when I watch them play, it's an AJ McCarron show. So I will have trouble understanding if they are a legitimate contender without him. And obviously, anyone against the Stallions is going to be a huge underdog. But any given Sunday, all that jazz. All right, so that's the UFL. Now we get to the good stuff. The football futures, the NFL futures. Let's find these over-unders here. Okay, we got win division. No. Win conference. No. MVP. Regular season wins. Lovely. All right, Arizona Cardinals. I believe that they are improved from last year, but they're in a very difficult division. 6.5 is pretty. I think it's going to be under 6.5. I'll take the under. The Falcons. This is a pretty well priced line as well. I think Kirk Cousins is probably going to make them quite a bit better. I'll be taking over 9.5. And you know what? That insurance policy of Michael Penix is probably pretty positive, honestly. If Cousins goes down, like he did last year, I like it. I like them for over 9.5 wins. Ravens 11.5. That's pretty spicy. Oh wait, did I just bet under? 1 second. Yes, I did. I'm gonna cash that out. That's a mistake. Oops. Okay, back here. We're taking over 9.5. And the over 9.5 is a minus 135. So the odds makers think that is the right choice. I'll be taking over 11.5 with the Ravens. That's a that's a plus bet, so that's the less likely option here, but not by a significant amount. Let's take the Ravens over 11.5. Buffalo, the line is 10.5. I think they have been. I think they've lost a lot of talent. The question is not whether they will beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, but whether they'll win more than 10.5 games. I think they can manage that. I think they can win more than 10.5 games. That's an over for me. Carolina Panthers, 4.5. Damn, I'm just like hitting the overs everywhere. But am I going to hit one here? This is a tough spot. They are very bad. They are diabolical. They should have had the first overall pick, but it belonged to the Bears. Let's take under 4.5. Their O-line is terrible. Their receiver room is terrible. They don't have a running back to speak of. Until they show me something else, I'm thinking they are not winning more than 3 or 4 games. So that's going to be under 4.5. All right. Now, Chicago Bears, 8.5. I think the Bears will be an improved team on the whole, but I think they are not going to be winning the division. I don't even think they'll be coming second in the division. I think they are going to be less than 8.5 wins, but they'll look better, and they'll have something to build on for the year after. So, under 8.5. All right, Cincy Bengals, 10.5. Ooh, that's spicy. This is a tough division to handicap. I've already given Baltimore 11.5 wins. And I don't know, so I think the Browns are probably going to be okay, and I think the Steelers are going to be okay too. So it's going to be pretty tough. I'm going to put the Bengals at under 10.5. Cleveland Browns, easy under. No need to explain. They suck. Dallas Cowboys. I think they are over 10.5. I think usually they manage that every regular season. It's the postseason that they have trouble with. They're kind of like the Bills of the NFC. Let's silence that phone. It's distracting me. Okay, Broncos. 5.5. That's a pretty good line for them. I think over 5.5 wins. But if they set it at 6.5, it would be an under. Detroit, this is a very easy over for me. I think they're winning this division. I think they are quite good. And I think they got better at the draft. Packers, 9.5. I think they'll probably be over 9.5. I think they will sneak into the playoffs. Houston Texans, 9.5. I like them for that. You know, this new era with Stroud, they are looking pretty spicy. And the gambling people think so too at a -150. Indianapolis Colts. Dang, this is going to be tough because I feel like all these teams kind of feel like they could do it here. But 8.5's not like... I guess that's just like a mid team. So I'll go with over 8.5 for Indy. And I will go with under 8.5 for Jacksonville. I don't really understand what they're doing in terms of team building. I feel like I understand what the Colts are trying to do. Now the Chiefs at 11.5. This is Chiefs have been old faithful for a while here. They just seem to be able to just grind it out and make the playoffs, win. They feel like they're due for a, stinker season eventually. Like, this whole Rashee Rice scenario is pretty concerning. But at the end of the day, there's so much concern and they always come out, smelling pretty good. So we're going to go with over for these Chiefs. Like the Chiefs. I feel like betting on the Chiefs is like buying bonds. Like, they always return. They don't always return something attractive, but they always return something positive. All right. Now we got the Chargers. I really believe in Jim Harbaugh. And I think that they will go over this 8.5 number. I really like their new O-lineman. He looks like a absolute king. Quarter zip. Future Hall of Famer for sure. I'm feeling it. I wish I could bet that he'd be a Hall of Famer before he even plays a snap of football. Wait, like 14 or 15 years before I, get to cash that one. But I wish I could bet on it. I want it real bad. Rams. Over 8.5 or under 8.5. My hatred of this team makes me want to say under, but I think McVay's really good. They still got Stafford. It's tough to imagine what their defense is going to look like without Donald, but I think they'll hang together. Go over. I feel like I'm just like an over machine, though. This is not good. I feel like I'm giving away too many wins. Raiders. Minshew at quarterback. Are they even going to be as good as last year? Hard to imagine. We're going to go under the Raiders. That is a wildly hard division. I guess, the Broncos are beatable maybe. I don't know. It's tough. We're going to be taking... I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. They've hired Antonio Pierce. Minshew is the quarterback. They didn't pick up anyone in the draft. that I was like super excited about. The cornerback they picked in the first round looks good, but who knows? I just don't see how the Raiders have a competitive 2024 style offense. Their defense might be strong. They were strong last year, but I feel like there are a lot of concerns with the Raiders, and they've addressed not enough of them. All right, and the Dolphins. I love the Dolphins. They're going over. Easy money. I am a member of TuaNon. No one really understands him, except the people that think he's the best. Now the Vikings over 6.5, or 6.5 wins being the over/under. That's a tough line. They have a ton of talent in the receiving room. They picked up Aaron Jones. I guess the question is, who's playing quarterback? And are they any good? And since that is such a big question, I will be hitting the under. Until I see some, I'm not going to bet on it. That is a 6.5 wins. That division is really tough. And yeah, they're in trouble. Oh, why are we doing this? Ooh. I guess I have to verify you. Why is this? Well, that's confusing. I'm not sure why that happened. All right. Vikings, Patriots. Here we go. They will be under 4.5, I think. They are just lacking a lot of talent at most of the position groups. Maybe the defense will be okay, but generally speaking, rookie QB, bad receiving room, who's even running back, what's the O-line look like? They've done the thing where they have picked the quarterback, hopefully that he's talented, and they'll build around him, but they are certainly not throwing him into a ideal environment to figure out whether he's good or not. So we'll go under 4.5. That's a very low over/under, though. The book here likes over, but I like under. New Orleans Saints, under 7.5. Usually the Saints just grind it out and keep it respectable. I'll go with over. But it is a rough looking team for, Saints fans. I don't even think that they're going to be able to win this division, which seems to usually be their goal. Giants over 6.5 seems possible. 7 is not a lot of wins. I'm going to do under. Under 6.5. These Giants are goofy. All right. Jets under 8.5. That's so easy. This team is booty cheeks. Aaron Rodgers will be hurt in the first 2 to 3 weeks. I don't understand how you can look at this and think it's a good team. Philly Eagles over, of course. They're always over this number. I don't understand how you could. Whoa, $30. What do you think? I'm crazy? 30 cents. We're out here throwing quarters around. All right? I'm not trying to bankrupt myself betting on football. Steelers. This is an interesting team here. Russell, Bustle, Man Muscle Wilson. Over 8. Mike Tomlin will never let his team go under 8. In fact, you could raise that a whole win and I would still be betting on it. Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin are not going under 7.5. You heard it here first. It's not happening. Now, and the Seahawks are incredibly difficult to handicap for me. I'm always wrong. But that being said, I am putting over. I believe in Mike McDonald. He was the right coach. I believe our roster's all right. We've drafted a defensive tackle who seems to be a downright monster. And I think they'll be able to find something there. But the division's tough. If either way happened, over 7.5, under 7.5, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, this is a very mysterious year for the Seahawks. But yeah, I put over, but that's probably more of a hope than a belief. So let's keep going. We got the San Francisco 49ers over 11.5. I hate it, but Brock Purdy is pretty awesome. They've got the Monstars in terms of the skill position players, and their defense is incredibly good. I'm putting them at, over 11.5 and hanging my head sadly, hitting place bet. Tampa Buccaneers, 7.5. Feels like an over to me. We got, Titans 6.5. It's interesting. If Will Levis is any good, I think they can do this. So let's go. We're going to hit that over. Commanders 6.5. I'm going to take the under because the Commanders are goofy. And I don't believe in them, even with new ownership. We'll see how it goes. But I don't even know what they're doing. And that is everyone. That is the whole NFL. We've bet on the UFL. We've bet on the NFL. We've made, 36, 37 bets today. So, and these will not be hitting until, I guess, 2025. So, if you're still watching, that's really cool. I appreciate you. We are absolute degenerates that we are betting on the NFL in May. This has been the Hot Action Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kerr. If you're still watching, please hit like and subscribe. That's what we are looking for out here. That's why we do it. We do it for the likes. We do it for the subscribes. And that's everything. See y'all next week. Peace.